All right, let's dive right in. We're going to tackle a really powerful, kind of radical idea today. What if real growth, true transformation, isn't about climbing higher and higher? What if it's about a deliberate, purposeful plunge downwards? Yeah, it's a philosophy that finds its meaning not up in the heavens, but right here in the dirt on the earth.
And right away, we're thrown onto a razor's edge with this line. Think about that for a second. I am not a man. I am the rope. The speaker isn't seeing themselves as a person, but as this living battlefield, a rope stretched super tight between our primal instincts and some higher ideal, just vibrating over this massive, empty abyss. This one image, honestly, it sets the stage for everything we're about to get into.
So this brings us to the core concept, the down-going. And it is so important to get this right. This is not about failing, it's not falling by accident. No, this is a purposeful plunge, a willing choice to go down, to descend, almost like composting yourself to make the soil richer so that something new, something stronger can grow from that sacrifice.
Okay, so let's really dig into that image of the rope over the abyss. To get what this whole journey is about, we've got to first understand the tension, right? The thing that's pulling it so tight.
And here they are, the two opposing forces that create this incredible tension. You've got the beast on one side. That's our raw primal instinct, the part that pulls us back down into the mud. And then on the other side, you have the God, this distant, silent ideal pulling us up toward the heavens. And our speaker? They're stuck right in the middle, basically the rope in a massive game of cosmic tug-of-war.
So you have to ask, right? Why would anyone embrace this kind of painful tension? Well, because in this way of thinking, self-destruction can actually be a profoundly creative act. Just like a seed has to literally break open and be destroyed for a plant to grow, the self has to be sacrificed for any kind of future harvest to even be possible.
Now this part is absolutely crucial. This whole struggle, it's not for some reward in an afterlife. The text just throws that idea right out the window. All loyalty, every bit of purpose is dedicated to the earth, to the real, tangible future and the solid ground we can build right here, right now.
So, the big question is, how do you go from being this rope that's just being pulled apart to becoming a bridge for the future? Well, the answer is a path of really deep internal change, a whole series of metamorphoses for the soul. This whole process kicks off with something called sublimation, and the metaphor here is just perfect. Imagine a massive, chaotic flood. Instead of just letting it destroy everything, you channel that raw, destructive power with so much focus that it carves something incredible, like the Grand Canyon. See? It's not about killing the inner beast. It's about taking all its power and redirecting it for a creative purpose.
And what you get from that is this really radical combination. The goal is to basically merge two forces that you'd think are total opposites. You take the world-shattering pride of a conqueror, like a Roman Caesar, and you fuse it with the world-building spirit of a creator, like the soul of Christ. It means you need both the raw power to tear down what's old and corrupt, and the vision to lay the first stone of something brand new.
Okay, this all sounds super intense, maybe a little abstract. So the obvious question is, how? How does a person actually walk this path?
Well, the text gives us a pretty clear roadmap, a three-stage journey. First, the spirit is a camel, then it becomes a lion, and finally it transforms into a child. So let's break down exactly what each of those means.
All right, stage one. The journey always begins with the camel. This is all about discipline, about learning how to carry immense weight without breaking, and just building that foundational strength. So what's the camel's whole deal? It's endurance, pure and simple. It takes on the heaviest duties, it follows the old laws, the thou shalts of the world. But, and this is a big but, it's not just blind obedience. The camel sees all this discipline as a crucible, like a blacksmith's fire, that's tempering and forging the massive strength it's going to need for what comes next.
But here's the twist. All that strength you built up just by obeying, it's not enough. To get to the next level, to be truly free, you have to shed that skin, drop that burden, and transform into the lion. And wow, is this a dramatic shift. The camel lived by thou shalt. The lion, it roars a defiant I will. It doesn't just question old values, it smashes them to pieces. The lion's entire job is to seize its own freedom, to break the very rules that the camel works so hard to carry.
And that is the whole point of the lion's destruction. It's about creating a void, a clean slate. As the text says, in that silent, smoking void where the old rules used to be, you find your own voice. And that voice isn't for praying to something else, it's for creating something new.
So again, it's so important to remember this. The lion's rampage isn't just chaos for chaos's sake. It's a holy destruction, a necessary demolition project. Its only job is to clear the land so that new values can be built. But even this incredible, powerful destroyer isn't the end of the line. So after all that fire and destruction from the lion, what could possibly come next? We finally arrive at the ultimate transformation, the last and maybe the most powerful stage of all, the child. The spirit of the child is something else entirely. It's pure potential, a completely new beginning, a first motion. It's forgotten all the camel's heavy burdens and all the lion's angry battles. It just has this sacred lightness. Its will isn't fighting the world anymore, it's dancing with it.
And this all leads to one final thing, the sacred yes. And let's be clear, this is not just sighing and accepting your fate. It's an active, joyful shout of yes to all of existence, the good, the bad, all of it. And you're doing it just for its own sake, not because you're promised some reward or threatened with punishment.
And really, in this way of thinking, getting to that place, that innocent, creative, life-affirming yes, that is the pinnacle. That's the top of the mountain. It is the ultimate freedom and the ultimate power.
And so the whole thing ends not with I've arrived, but with this powerful declaration that things are just getting started. All that struggle, the downgoing, becoming the camel, the lion, the child, all of it was just prep work. The real journey, the crossing of the abyss, is only just beginning. And that kind of leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? What abyss are you preparing to cross?